You ever hit that wall where everything in your life feels like it's standing still? Like you're moving but nothing's changing? That was me. One week I woke up and decided, enough is enough. I was tired of waiting for motivation to show up, tired of being average, and sick of watching life pass me by. I said, let me try something radical. What if I changed just 5 things this week? What happened after that shook me to my core. In just 7 days, my mindset shifted, my energy exploded, and I saw progress I'd been chasing for years. This isn't some feel-good nonsense. This is what happens when you commit, really commit, to 5 life-altering habits. It all started with a brutal realization. I was my own worst enemy. My routine was trash, my thoughts were scattered, and my willpower was fading. But instead of drowning in guilt, I looked in the mirror and said, let's fix it. You don't need a new year or a grand plan. You need action. You need decisions that shake your soul. You need to shock your system back to life. And that's what I did. Each habit I chose was like lighting a fire inside me. You want to feel unstoppable? Then buckle up. This isn't theory. This is lived experience. And if I can do it, so can you. The first habit, waking up before the world, 5 a.m. No snooze, no excuses. You know what it feels like to beat the sun out of bed? It feels like power, like control. The world is silent, your mind is clear, and you own the moment. For the first time in my life, I wasn't reacting, I was acting. I got to think, plan, visualize, before any noise could reach me. That early stillness became my secret weapon. I didn't just wake up, I rose up. And that alone made me feel like a different person. It's not about the hour, it's about the intention. Rise with purpose, and you'll feel the shift instantly. Then came habit number 2. And let me tell you, this one punched my ego in the face. No phone for the first hour. Sounds simple? Try it. You'll see how addicted you really are. For 1 hour, no scrolling, no notifications, no outside voices controlling your mood. That first hour is for you. Read, write, stretch, breathe, do anything but consume. When I stopped feeding my brain chaos first thing, my clarity skyrocketed. I wasn't chasing dopamine anymore. I was building discipline. And once you taste that kind of control, you never want to go back. The third habit felt like flipping a switch inside my body. Cold showers. Every single morning. It wasn't just about the health benefits, it was about the mental war. Standing under freezing water when every cell in your body screams, no, and doing it anyway. That teaches you to override comfort. That teaches grit. And guess what? That kind of discipline bleeds into everything, your fitness, your focus, your goals. If you can win that battle at 6 a.m., the rest of the day doesn't stand a chance. I stopped being soft. I started becoming sharp, cold, calculated, controlled. Habit 4 might sound cliche, but it changed the game for me. Writing down my goals every single morning. Not just reading them, writing them. With my hand, my pen, my mind connected to the ink. It's different. It programs you. It forces you to remember what the mission is. You stop drifting. You start aiming. When you write your goals daily, your brain starts filtering everything through that lens. Opportunities pop up. Distractions get cut. You don't lose sight anymore. You become intentional, focused, hungry. Every stroke of that pen builds your future. Then came habit 5. And I'll be honest, this one shocked me the most. I started walking. Not for exercise, not for steps, but for stillness. I left my phone, put on some calm music or walked in silence, and just moved. I let my mind breathe. Ideas poured in. Problems started solving themselves. Walking became my therapy, my meditation. In just 20 minutes a day, my anxiety dropped, my creativity surged, and I felt present for the first time in years. Sometimes you don't need more stimulation, you need space, movement without pressure. That's where I found answers I didn't even know I needed. The crazy part? These 5 habits didn't take more than a couple hours total, yet they transformed my days completely. I felt alive again. I stopped waiting for a miracle and became one. And here's the wildest thing. You'll feel it in 24 hours. That first day you wake up early, stay off your phone, shock your system, claim your goals, and walk in peace. You'll feel like a new version of yourself is waking up from a long sleep. That voice inside that's been whispering, "We're meant for more," finally gets a microphone, and it gets loud. Logically, these habits are simple. But psychologically, they're powerful. They shake your comfort zone, break your routine, and rebuild your mindset. Most people fail not because they're lazy, but because they never interrupt their pattern. You've got to make your habits so strong, your old life feels like a stranger. These 5 routines did that for me. They weren't magic. They were structure. They were momentum. You know what's better than motivation. Motion. Start moving, and the motivation will chase you. I used to think I needed a whole life plan. But what I really needed was a week of radical self-respect. That's what these habits gave me. I started treating my time like it was sacred, my mind like it was a temple, and my future like it was already mine. That energy, it's magnetic. People around me noticed. My results started to reflect the work I was doing when no one was watching. All it took was a decision. 1 week. 5 habits. 0 excuses. That was the moment I stopped surviving and started dominating. So if you're standing where I once stood, tired, stuck, overwhelmed, this is your sign. Start today, not Monday, not next month, right now. Commit to these 5 habits like your life depends on it, because it does. This isn't about productivity hacks. This is about waking up the warrior inside you. You're not meant to crawl through life. You're meant to conquer. Don't waste another week sleepwalking. Choose to live. You'll be shocked what 7 days of real effort can unleash. I'm living proof. And next week you will be too. After that first week, I realized something insane. Life isn't slow. We are. We delay. We hesitate. We overthink. We second guess. But when you move fast with intention, life responds. Those 5 habits didn't just give me structure. They made me addicted to momentum. Every morning I woke up with a purpose. It felt like I was winning before the world even opened its eyes. You want to feel untouchable? Start your day like a machine, disciplined, calculated, unshakable. That first win in the morning sets the tone for every battle after. Win that one and the rest of the day bows to you. I remember day 4 like it was yesterday. I didn't want to wake up. I didn't want the cold shower. I didn't want to write down anything. And in that moment, I knew I had to. Because that resistance is the test. That's your comfort zone fighting back. That's the version of you that's been holding you back all these years screaming, don't change. But change doesn't whisper, it demands pain, sacrifice, discomfort. So I stood under that cold water and said, this is the price of freedom. And that moment right there, that was rebirth. Psychologically, these habits force your brain into discipline. They train your mind to follow through regardless of how you feel. That's the real key. Feelings lie. Discipline doesn't. If I had waited to feel like doing the work, I'd still be stuck in the same spot. But when you teach your mind that action doesn't need permission, your entire reality shifts. You're no longer reactive. You're proactive. Your confidence skyrockets because every time you keep a promise to yourself, your brain starts to believe, we don't quit anymore. And the truth is, discipline builds identity. After just 7 days, I didn't feel like the same person. I walked different, talked different, thought different. Not because I hit some external goal, but because internally I was at war with the old me. And I was winning. Do you know what that feels like? When you finally see the enemy isn't the world, it's the lazy version of you, and now you've got it cornered. That kind of transformation doesn't need applause. It doesn't need an audience. It just needs your commitment when no one's watching. People started noticing. Something's changed in you, they said, and I smiled because I knew it wasn't just change, it was evolution. My energy was sharper. My words had weight. I wasn't tolerating the same nonsense anymore. My standards rose with every day I honored those habits. You want to raise your life? Raise your standards. And to raise your standards, you need rituals that reinforce power. These 5 habits, they're not just routines. They're reminders that you're not average, that you're done living below your potential, that you're built for more. Let me tell you something powerful. When you act like the person you want to become, your mind starts catching up. I didn't feel motivated at the start, but I acted like I was. I moved like someone who was on a mission. And slowly, my identity aligned with my actions. That's the secret nobody tells you. Action shapes identity. You don't wait to feel confident. You do the things confident people do, and confidence grows. You don't wait to feel successful. You build the habits successful people live by, and success follows. Who you become is built in what you do repeatedly. I replaced distractions with intention. That one habit alone changed my brain. No more mindless scrolling, no more watching other people live. I started creating. That time I used to waste. Now it builds me. Every hour became a brick in the foundation of the life I'm building. You'd be amazed how much time you actually have when you stop letting other people's noise invade your mind. Quiet is not boring. Quiet is power. In silence, you hear the truth. And once I tuned into my own voice, I couldn't believe I ever lived without it. The walks, they became my reset button. Any stress, any chaos. I walked it off. Sometimes I cried. Sometimes I smiled. Sometimes I just breathed. But every walk reminded me, I'm in control. Life throws storms, but your legs, your lungs, your heartbeat, they remind you that you're still here, you're alive, you're capable. And that realization, it crushes anxiety. You don't need 1,000 answers. You need a few moments of clarity. And movement paired with reflection gives you that clarity fast. Don't underestimate the power of presence, it's priceless. If I had to put it simply, I'd say this. These 5 habits made me fall in love with my own life again. Not because everything became perfect, but because I became powerful. The kind of power that comes from ownership, from discipline, from facing your excuses and saying, not anymore. You don't need a new life. You need a new lens. These habits clean that lens for me. And when I looked through it, I saw a future I actually wanted to chase. That's what real change does. It gives you a reason to run forward, not escape. So now the question is, will you do it? Will you commit to just 1 week of full-out effort? No shortcuts, no half-hearted attempts. Just pure, uncomfortable, relentless effort. You don't need more time. You don't need perfect conditions. You need decision. The next 7 days could be the most powerful of your life. If you let them, you've waited long enough. Your breakthrough is waiting behind 5 simple but brutal habits. Don't think, don't hesitate. Don't scroll past this. Stand up and start becoming the person your future self will thank you for. By day 6, something surreal started happening. My thoughts stopped attacking me. You know what I mean? That endless voice in your head that says you're not doing enough, you're not good enough, you'll never change. It got quieter. Why? Because I finally gave it proof. I was showing up. I was doing hard things, keeping promises, pushing through. That voice of doubt, it lives on inconsistency. But once you start stacking wins, it loses its grip. You don't need to silence the negativity. You need to starve it by feeding your progress. And for the first time in forever, I felt peace. Peace didn't come from meditation or therapy sessions. It came from momentum. Every cold shower, every walk, every written goal, it was a brick in the wall between me and my past self. I wasn't trying to erase who I used to be. I was outgrowing him. And that is one of the most powerful feelings a human can experience. To realize that you are no longer stuck. You are no longer who you were. You're evolving, you're building. And that internal shift, that sense of inner fire, it's better than any outside reward. Growth feels like freedom. I started seeing my time as sacred. I used to waste hours, gone to distractions, gone to other people's chaos, gone to mindless comfort. But now, I protected my time like my life depended on it. Because it does. Every hour you give away without intention is an hour you can't get back. One of the habits that quietly changed everything was scheduling my life like it mattered. No more floating, no more winging it. I wasn't just living, I was leading myself. And when you take control of your time, you take control of your destiny. Something weird happened around this point. I stopped needing validation. I didn't need people to notice. I didn't need applause. I didn't care who clapped. Why? Because I knew what I was doing. When your identity aligns with your habits, you don't need to prove anything. You're living it. People who are truly locked into their mission don't crave approval. They crave progress. And once I made that internal switch, I felt bulletproof. Nobody could knock me off path. Opinions, background noise, distractions, not invited. This wasn't hype. It was personal. Logically, everything made sense. 5 habits, 1 week, repeat. But emotionally, the impact was way deeper. I started forgiving myself for all the years I wasted, all the promises I broke to myself, all the mornings I slept through purpose. These habits became a form of redemption. Every time I honored them, I was telling the past version of me, you didn't die in vain. I'm here now, and I won't waste this life again. That type of emotional closure can't be bought. It's earned. And the currency is commitment day by day, hour by hour. Let's talk about identity shifts. At some point, I didn't have to force the habits anymore. I wanted them. They became part of me. Waking up early didn't feel like punishment. It felt like freedom. Writing my goals didn't feel like a chore. It felt like clarity. The cold showers, they felt like a battle I wanted to win. That's what discipline turns into desire. Because your brain starts associating the pain with growth. You realize that real joy isn't in avoiding discomfort. It's in mastering it. And when that clicks, you become unstoppable. Psychologically, here's the truth. Your brain is plastic. It rewires itself based on repetition. And every single day you follow these 5 habits, You're reprogramming your identity. You're telling your mind, we are not average, we are warriors. And over time, your brain believes you. That's not magic, that's neuroscience. You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence, success, confidence, they're not traits, they're trained. And I train myself to rise, to focus, to conquer. If that's possible for me, then it's possible for anyone. You don't need perfect discipline, you need momentum. And I'll be honest, there were moments I slipped. I hit snooze once. I almost picked up the phone. I wanted to skip the walk. But I didn't let that break the streak. Because perfection isn't the goal. Consistency is. One bad moment doesn't ruin your progress, quitting does. And I made a vow to myself, never quit. Mess up? Fine. Own it. Fix it. Keep moving. That alone changed my whole relationship with progress. I stopped being all or nothing. I became always moving forward. My energy changed, not just physically, but spiritually. I felt cleaner, sharper, lighter. Why? Because those habits cleared out the emotional clutter, the overthinking, the laziness, the guilt. They made room for belief. You know how powerful it is to finally believe in yourself again? To look in the mirror and respect the person staring back? I didn't just get more productive, I got more alive. And that life force, that internal flame started lighting up everything around me. People noticed, opportunities appeared. Doors opened. Because energy is magnetic. So let me say this loud and clear. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are undertrained. And training starts with commitment. These 5 habits are not some miracle hack. And all it takes is one decision. One yes to your future. Are you tired of being average? Are you done waiting for change? Then don't wait another second. Start now. You've got 7 days to shock your system and wake up your potential. The clock is ticking, and the new version of you is waiting. By day 7, I stood in silence before sunrise and realized I'd become someone I didn't recognize in the best way. My mind wasn't racing. My body wasn't sluggish. My soul wasn't searching for something meaningless to latch onto. I had finally tasted what it felt like to be in control. Not perfect, not flawless, but present. That's what these 5 habits gave me. Presence, ownership, power. And if it only took a week to feel this alive, how had I wasted so many years pretending I needed more time? You don't need more time, you need a decision. Every habit you commit to is like planting a seed. The first few days, you don't see anything. Your mind screams, why are we doing this? But keep going. And suddenly, the first sprout pushes through the surface. That's what happened to me. After 7 days, I didn't just feel different. I saw it. In my posture, my energy, the way people looked at me. The mirror reflected something new. Not because the world had changed, but because I had. The seed had cracked. And something stronger had begun to rise from inside. I remember journaling on that last day and writing one line that hit me like a lightning bolt. This version of me was always inside. I just had to wake him up. That's what I want you to feel. I want you to realize that you're not waiting to become someone. You're waiting to uncover who you really are underneath the excuses, distractions, and noise. The real you. He's not lazy, she's not broken, they're buried. And these 5 habits? They're the shovel, they're the chisel. They're the spark that lights the fire you've been afraid to ignite. And let's talk about fear, because that's the real enemy, right? Fear of failing, fear of starting, fear of what people will think. But here's what I realized. Fear doesn't go away. You just stop listening to it. Every time I stepped into discomfort, a cold shower in early morning, a phone-free hour, I trained myself to ignore fear's voice. And the more I did that, the quieter it became. That's the real victory. Not the goal itself, but the power you build inside by moving through fear instead of around it. Courage isn't loud, it's consistent. There's a psychological phenomenon called self-signaling. It means your actions send a message to your brain about who you are. When you wake up early, your brain says, we're disciplined. When you ignore your phone, your brain says, we're focused. When you write your goals, your brain says, we're on a mission. That's how identity is built. One signal at a time. And after 1 week of sending powerful signals to myself, my brain didn't see me as a victim anymore. It saw me as a warrior. You want real change? Send a stronger signal. There was something sacred about the repetition. The same 5 things every day, not glamorous, not flashy, but sacred. Because every repetition was a ritual of commitment. You don't need variety to grow. You need reliability. These habits became my compass, my anchor. They gave me something solid to hold on to while the rest of the world spun in chaos. And in that consistency, I found peace. Some people search for peace in luxury, others in people. But true peace, it's built in structure, in order, in earned control. That's what no one tells you. I'll never forget how I felt walking through the city that seventh evening. Everything looked the same. Same streets, same buildings, same people. But everything felt different. Why? Because I had changed. I didn't need the environment to shift to feel alive. I brought the shift with me. That's what inner power does. It transforms the way you experience the world. It's not the world that's dull. It's your energy that's been sleeping. And when you finally wake up, life suddenly becomes electric, beautiful, magnetic. From a logical standpoint, none of this is complicated. Wake up early, stay off your phone. Take cold showers, write your goals, walk every day. Walk every day. Anyone can do these things. But the key is, will you do them when it's hard? Will you do them when no one claps? When your mind resists? When your body complains? Because that's when transformation begins. Not on day one, but on the day you feel like quitting and don't. That's the defining line. That's when the old you dies and the real you steps forward. So now we're here, 1 week in, 5 habits deep. And maybe you're wondering, can it really change my life that fast? I'm living proof it can. But it only works if you go all in. No faking, no dipping your toes. You've got to burn the old bridge and run full speed into discomfort. Why? Because comfort is a cage dressed up as peace, and the door is open. The only thing stopping you from leaving is the lie that change takes forever. It doesn't. It takes fire. It takes urgency. It takes a week. One brutal, beautiful, unforgettable week. And here's the best part, this is only the beginning. 1 week lit the fuse. Now imagine what 1 month could do, 1 year, 1 decade. Your dream life is not that far away, it's just on the other side of consistency. And the version of you who already lives that dream, they're watching, waiting, begging you to move. This is your call, this is your moment, don't let it pass. Don't wait for perfect timing. Choose yourself. Right now, 5 habits, 7 days, 0 excuses. Go light your soul on fire and never look back. So now you've heard it all. The 5 habits, the battle through resistance, the internal rewiring that began to reshape my entire life in just 1 week. But here's the truth that hit me the hardest. This isn't about the habits. It never was. It's about what they represent. Each one is a symbol, a stand you take against the version of you that settles. They're not just routines, they are declarations. Every morning you rise early, you're saying, I will not waste this life. Every cold shower says, I choose discomfort over decay. Every goal you write down, I know where I'm going. And every time you follow through, you declare, I am becoming unstoppable. You see, the biggest lie we've been sold is that change takes time. No, it takes alignment. It takes intensity. You don't need a year to shift who you are. You need a moment where you say, this ends now. That week was my moment. I got sick of feeling stuck. I got furious about being average, and I turned that anger into action. You want to change your life? Don't wait for peace. Use your pain. Use that pit in your stomach and say, enough is enough. I'm not living like this anymore. That's where the fire comes from. And when that fire's lit, you don't need motivation. You don't need people cheering you on. You become the storm. You wake up and move with purpose. You don't ask for permission. You claim the day like it's already yours. These habits trained me to stop negotiating with weakness. They built walls around my focus and gave my soul structure. I didn't wake up perfect. I woke up relentless. And when you get relentless, you stop chasing people, approval, or comfort. You start chasing your highest self. You on the edge of decision, me telling you what's possible. This is your moment. Don't scroll away from it. Don't think about it for another month. Start today, choose your 5, lock in for 7 days, fight through the resistance, break the chains, and meet the version of you that's been waiting for this exact moment to come alive. Because once you see what's possible in a week, you'll never go back to ordinary again. You'll never want to. Your breakthrough isn't years away. It's 7 days of intensity away, and it starts now.